Christmas. The time of year for giving, for getting together with family, and for being continuously reminded that the working class is forever subjugated by capitalism, and it causes them to eat just a single pea for Christmas dinner. What a wonderful time. But among those traditions, there's one for me that I have consistently done for years and years, and that's find me the perfect game to play while I finally unshackle myself from my desk and stop working myself into a coma for the first time all year. To find something relaxing without being totally mundane, something that just captures the wintry spirit of Christmas without Christmas being the sole focus. See, I could have copped out here and just picked things like Batman Arkham Origins or Spider-Man Miles Morales, which, while both great games to play at Christmas because they're set at Christmas, I don't think that's really as fun of a topic as looking for games that feel good to play at Christmas but aren't actually at all about Christmas. I think this video can easily apply to people who don't celebrate Christmas too, as it's more about capturing the cozy winter vibe than it is about capturing Christmas itself. So, if anything, the only people left out are going to be those dronkos in the southern hemisphere who think summer is in December, you bloody wallabies. Now look, some of these are going to be highly subjective, because let's be honest, I think of them as great Christmas games, probably because I played them at Christmas once. But I do have good reasoning for all of them, and I think by the end, maybe you'll have a ton of games to give a go this Christmas, so that you too, like me, can feel joy once. Leave your own suggestions for games to play at Christmas down in the comments, so we can all share in this wonderful festive period of giving. So give me your comments to help boost the video, please, thank you. What is Santa's main MO? Delivering presents to the kids of the world, all in one night. Unless your family is financially struggling, in which case he tends to just skip your house to save up the lost time. That's how he actually does it. And there is no game that captures the feeling of delivering Christmas presents better than Death Stranding. The entire premise of Death Stranding's gameplay loop is picking up packages and delivering those packages. This game was super divisive in 2019 for being boring because all you do is walk, and games of course need shooting and explosions to be fun. Although it does have both of those too. But I'm a big Death Stranding defender. I played this game around November, December 2019. I remember shutting myself in my office, wrapped up warm with a hot chocolate, and I just played for hours at a time as my house was having work done after we'd just moved in, and I couldn't record much because of all the noise, so this was my life for a couple of weeks. It's a fond memory, and of course that plays into why I would probably consider it a good Christmas game, but I think that applies to anyone. Wrap yourself up warm, get a mug of hot chocolate, and strap in for a chilled walk across a grass field and rocky landscape with some great music and challenges to overcome, all to deliver some packages just like Santa Claus. I never finished Death Stranding because I eventually had to get back to work and didn't have the time, but I would like to eventually play it all through. That said though, of the 20 or so hours that I played, I really enjoyed my time with it. And I think the gameplay loop just lends itself to being such a nice game to play during the holiday season. Of the gifts that Santa slaves cook up in their sweatshop, one of the most classic has to be Lego. A lot of Christmases aren't complete as a kid without some sort of overpriced Lego product under the tree. Now as a kid, my mother was well, pretty smart and responsible and refused to buy us Lego because it costs an arm and a leg, and the odds are we'd never play with it after the first time. The one time she did buy us Lego, we did play with it literally once and never again, so I can't really be too mad about that. But one type of Lego that always made itself a part of my Christmas were the Lego video games. Specifically, the one that stands out for me as the most Christmassy is Lego Harry Potter. I'm not sure why specifically these ones feel more Christmassy. Maybe it's because the only true Lego set we ever owned in real life was Harry Potter themed. Maybe it's the Englishness of Harry Potter that just for some reason feels a little bit festive. Maybe it's the gothic design of Hogwarts that feels like a church or cathedral, which is of course naturally linked to Christmas. Maybe it's the fact that Harry Potter always has segments set during snowfall at Christmas, and that's just nice. Or maybe it's all of those reasons, but there's definitely a reason that I decided every year for my Advent Calendar series, rest in peace, that I'd play Lego Harry Potter. The John Williams music, the light-hearted nature of the gameplay loop, the ability to wander and explore, it's just calming, it's nice, it's happy. There's so many little charming elements, stuff that just really hits you with a wave of childhood nostalgia, and during a time where I often feel like time is getting away from me, being able to use a game to connect with who you used to be and what life was like as a kid is valuable. It's a game that I love playing at Christmas, and I'm sure I'll continue that trend by streaming Goblet of Fire sometime this year. Even if the Advent Calendar is no more, the series that I did as a part of it can continue in some way. But I think it's more than just this specific LEGO game. All of them really work. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Indiana Jones, Batman. The LEGO games in any form lend themselves so well to being something to play at Christmas, whether alone or with a friend in co-op. Lord of the Rings, I think, is probably the closest to Harry Potter for me in terms of these very general and vague vibes that I'm trying to convey. I always tend to rewatch Lord of the Rings around the winter time, so I'm gonna have to get on that soon too. One of the best places you can be at Christmas is like a dog, curled up in front of your fireplace as it roars away and snow falls outside. The only game that could possibly capture this feeling is the absolute classic that is Little Inferno. I almost didn't include this game because I actually thought it was set at Christmas, but it's not. It just really feels like it is. The premise of this game, for anyone unaware, is that the outside city is freezing, so much so that nobody can ever really leave their homes. It's far too dangerous, and so this shadowy company called the Tomorrow Corporation has developed a perpetually burning fireplace called Little Inferno's Entertainment Fireplace, which acts as a way to keep people warm and entertained during a period where they cannot leave their homes. The gameplay has you burning different objects you can order from a catalogue and completing particular challenges by burning them in combination with each other for different effects. It's a very simple yet very rewarding and entertaining game with a charm and atmosphere that, while at points can be a little bit unnerving as you try to put together the story of this world, it's also cozy and endearing too. You find yourself engrossed as you buy more items and set them alight in your fireplace and try to complete more challenges to progress further and do it all again. The story though has a lot to say for itself as you do piece it together. I don't want to spoil it if you've never played it, as there are some interesting surprises and lots of things that you don't expect from a simple puzzle game at first. It's really worth picking up and giving a go this Christmas if you haven't already played it, and if you have, maybe it's time for a nice, cozy replay. Star Wars is a series that I've fallen out of love with since Obi-Wan, which I made an in-depth video on, link in the description. I've not watched anything Star Wars other than Andor, which was genuinely fantastic. But years ago, Star Wars and Christmas used to be completely linked. Every sequel trilogy film came out in December, as did Rogue One. You'd head off to the cinema, watch it painfully mid-film, and then come out again into the cold air, the Christmas lights and the decorations, and talk about how the film was a steaming hot pile of shit. But it was fun, and because of the annual buzz around Star Wars at Christmas, I came to make it a tradition to play Star Wars Battlefront 2 every year, either by myself for a little bit on stream or with a group of mates for the Advent Calendar, rest in peace. Battlefront 2 is a game that, while it launched in a fairly poor state, became a genuinely fun multiplayer shooter set in the Star Wars universe, and while nothing really lives up to the original Battlefront 2, the newest EA one is honestly a fun game these days, especially with a group of friends just having a laugh, which isn't something I make time for enough these days. Hopping on for a few rounds of Battlefront 2 is nostalgic, it's fun, it reminds me of Christmases gone by, and I get to actually hang out with a few mates for a couple of hours and have dumb fun. And no matter how I feel about Star Wars moving forward, I feel very fucking negatively about it, I always have Battlefront 2 if I'm feeling a little nostalgic at Christmas time. Talking major franchises, one that weirdly stands out as something that reminds me of Christmas is The Witcher. Specifically, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Now, I don't mean a full-on replay of the main story, more so something to jump into for a little while and just do a few side quests in. I think the main reason for this is because of the show back in 2019. December 20th, the Netflix show aired for the first time, and although The Witcher show was nothing groundbreaking, the first season was decently competent and, dare I say it, fun. Season 2 was obviously not as positive, and moving forward it only looks to get worse, but both seasons so far released in December of 2019 and 2021, intrinsically linking The Witcher and Christmas. I remember back in 2019, The Witcher show caused The Witcher 3 to boom on Steam. The player count was insanely high, with new and old fans jumping in and revisiting it, myself among them. This period of December 2019 is actually what sparked my desire to create my original Witcher 3 retrospective that gave me some sort of incurable brain condition that I still do not know the source of. I'm fine. On top of this though, December 2022 saw the release of Witcher 3's next-gen version, continuing the trend of linking The Witcher 3 to Christmas in my simple brain. And so I don't think I'll ever shake it. A nice old revisit to The Witcher 3 at Christmas is a must. Riding the fields of Velen, walking the streets of Novigrad, and most importantly, exploring the snowy fjords of Ardskellig. It's nice to kick back on a cold winter's night and play a few hours of an old reliable classic like The Witcher 3. If there was ever one franchise that I had to nail down as the Christmas game for me though, it's Fable. Part of this comes from the fact that I first played Fable with Fable 3 in 2010 on Christmas Day, so of course, for me, Fable is linked to Christmas. It can't not be. The following Christmas, I got Fable 2 and played that religiously over that Christmas break as well. But I think genuinely there is merit to Fable being a standout Christmas game. All three of them can be, but I do tend to lean more towards 2 and 3 being that sort of Christmas experience. It's not just because of the Yule hat either. Although that is important. I said it in the Harry Potter section, but there's something about England and Englishness and traditional British vibes that just feels like Christmas to me, probably because of stories like A Christmas Carol that sort of dominate the festive period, or the annual tradition as a kid of tuning into the newest Doctor Who Christmas special. Thank God Russell is bringing those back. I will never be able to forgive Chibnall for moving those to New Year's Day instead. That's another war crime that he is yet to answer for. Fable is of course explicitly English, with famous English celebrities like Stephen Fry, John Cleese, Simon Pegg, Jonathan Ross doing the voices of major characters. There's a homeliness to it, and maybe that's because I'm English, and so these sort of classic English tropes and voices and designs are so familiar that they evoke a sense of nostalgia that is deeply linked to Christmas, but I can't help it, man. These games are just so damn charming and cozy and endearing and wholesome. These games are also very, very funny, and sometimes at Christmas, you don't want a deep and serious, grounded story, you just want to have a good laugh and eat a ton of good food. I love Fable, and I always have to replay at least one of them close to Christmas. The vibes of running around Bowerstone Old Town at the beginning of Fable 2 with the snow, or getting to Brightwall for the first time in Fable 3, or just the simple charm of a place like Oakvale in Fable 1. It's homely, it's nostalgic and warm, which accord to that festive vibe that we're seeking. And to bring it back around to classic Christmas stories like A Christmas Carol set in the Victorian period, Fable 2 and 3 both evoke that vibe. 3 a bit more than 2, but it's still there. That design of Victorian London mixed with traditional medieval fantasy that creates a vibe that can so easily feel like a Christmas game. We're not done yet though. Talking toward the idea of the Victorian period, there's another game with that setting that I have forced into being a Christmas game against its will, and that is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I think this game is beyond boring. However, it has become a staple of my Christmases for the last 4 years, all because of this one stupid fucking line.
Oh, what's this, Greenie? Assassin Christmas.
Since 2019, I have every year played Syndicate from the start until Jacob Fry says this iconic one-liner, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The game itself doesn't really evoke Christmas. I guess the setting is in line with that of A Christmas Carol, and it features Charles Dickens, as the game very aggressively points out to you.
You can always find me where the ale is warm.
This one is absolutely a result of me forcing it to be a Christmas tradition, like the odd things your family does every year that have been done for so long that you don't remember why you do it, but nonetheless, it's Christmas to you. But maybe the most classic Christmassy game of all is one that takes us back to simpler and more creative times in our lives. Minecraft. I feel it's pretty standard for most people who moved on from this game to have a bit of a mad 2-week Minecraft phase in December, whether it's sitting down with some friends to do a survival world that you never touch again, or reminiscing on your own classic world that you've long since abandoned, or maybe hopping into some classic Minecraft adventure maps. This game was always a staple of Christmas for me as a kid, and that still remains. I remember as a kid always tuning into the Yogscast Christmas Minecraft videos they do. It was part of the build-up to Christmas Day every year for me. It's the main reason I did my own advent calendar series. It was based on theirs and how it made me feel as a kid. I wanted to try and recreate those vibes for other people through my own content. I think Minecraft is a game that, for a lot of us, makes you feel safe. It makes you feel secure, even if you've had a tough day or week or month, or even a year. Minecraft is just there as the old reliable, a game you can just snuggle into with your laptop in bed and just build. Let your mind relax as you create, mine, and explore, and just feel at peace. While the rain or snow comes down outside and it's biting cold, you're tucked up in bed, setting fire to a villager settlement for no other reason than trying to stop capitalism from taking root in Minecraftia. Never ask me to trade emeralds ever again. Although I'm not an avid Minecraft player in 2023, it's always nice to come back to where this channel began. Assassin's Creed is one avenue that a lot of people remember me from, but the other that people tend to forget is Minecraft. I did a whole series from 2012 to 2014 spanning 139 episodes, and it was one of my only escapes from sometimes really tough days. And so being able to revisit this game every once in a while is really nice for me. And I think that's a feeling a lot of people can relate to. Minecraft was there at a time when we needed it, and coming back for a visit once a year for a little bit in a season all about love and joy and self-acceptance and reflection, without getting too deep, feels right. It feels good. No matter how tough of a year you've had, there's always some amount of escape in a game like Minecraft. These were just a few though, games that I like to play at Christmas, that remind me of this time of year, games that are cozy and safe and feel good. I'm sure as I keep playing games and finding stuff to sink my teeth into around the winter period, I'll end up growing this list. And part of that comes from the comments on this video from you. Like I said at the top, comment your personal favourite games to play during Christmas. They can be anything, so long as, for you, they evoke that feeling that is for you Christmas, or winter in general if you don't celebrate. I just don't want to see a single comment from an Australian, because you guys are totally upside down on this one. Get it? Thank you so much for watching this video to the end if you did. I really hope you enjoyed. This was something I just really wanted to make. I don't know if it's going to be received well, or if people are going to click it, or if YouTube's going to like it. I don't know. I don't care though, because I've made it anyway. I just really wanted to make this, because I just sort of, I don't know, I felt the vibes. This setup I've got going here, it took me a fucking long time to get this shit set up. Just so I could have this really nice sort of shot of the tree and this in the background. I could sit here, I've got the mic in my hands, like it's just, it really took some doing. I wish I could show you what my office looks like behind the camera, but I won't ruin the illusion. Just know it took a lot of work. And if you want to support work like that and other things that I do, you can over on patreon.com/LazerzZ. The link is down in the description if you want to chuck me $1, $2, $3, whatever it might be. You get rewards for different tiers, access to exclusive early access, all that sort of shit. Every time I release a main channel video, a big project, not something like this, a big project, I release a companion video over on Patreon as well. For my Spider-Man one, I released a video on the DLC. When I make my Black Flag retrospective, which I am making next year, I'll release a Freedom Cry retrospective exclusive to Patreon, so that's there. I recently did another episode of the Jazz Lounge podcast where I get on a different creator every single episode. Episode 10, which just happened, I had on Regular Pat, a Kingdom Hearts video essayist YouTuber who I absolutely admire. We had a great chat. It was a ton of fun. So if you want to support the stuff that I do here, and you want access to exclusive and early access and all of that shit, check out Patreon. The link is down in the description. Thank you very much to everyone that supports me over there. I love you. I think you're the best. All the names scrolling down now. You're the bloody brilliant gamers that are at the LazerzZ Vault today. I love you. You're fucking fantastic. You're amazing. You are amazing. But there are people that are more amazing than you. Just a smidge more. I have to say that. Just a smidge more amazing than you. And they're the names I'm about to read out now in the future, because I don't have the names right now, because I'm recording this at the end of November, and the list won't be the same. So I have to hand it off to my future self to read it out. So it's the December list and it's correct. But know that I thank you too. This isn't even the December list anyway. I'm recording this at the end of November. So thank you to the November people, I guess. Anyway, thank you to Nathan L. Garcia, Luke Pierce, Ethan, Rolands, Callum Thefmus Kelly, Arenathon, Flash Paradox, Connoisseur Sam, Cabbage, and Damien, the Not So Orange Gnome. I love you. Thank you all so much. But that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support this year. And I have one more video planned for this year. So stay tuned for that. That'll be fun. Anyway, thank you all so much. I love you very much. Have a good Christmas period. And I'll see you all very soon. Catch you later. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.